Welcome. This episode 3, Talkin Sports with the Know-It-Alls. I'm the host, Jimmy, aka the Know-It-All. I'm gonna introduce my panel. Up in the trash bag section, we got my boy Ant representing. I got a special guest, my boy Moses, in the house, and as usual, we got Big Lurch, Big Ralph, at the end. So we're gonna jump right into it. Episode 3. It's a what if episode. So we're going to talk about many topics in sports. If certain things would happen, what if? So I'm going to start first. So my what if question going to be, what if Bo Jackson never would have got injured? How would his career have turned out? So for me, I think he would have had a Adrian Peterson type career. I think that's the type of back he was to me. Probably a little more faster than Adrian Peterson. But I think he would have been finished probably top 10 all-time rushing because he was a speed power. So that's what I'm going to get it. So I'm going to send it to the trash bag section. What you think, Ant? Since you're younger than everybody, what you think?
I think he probably top 5 running back at least. Probably an all-time. And he played baseball too.
They ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about football only.
Football only? Probably top 5 running back.
That affected baseball.
Yeah, I got you.
See? Yeah,
I'm just giving Ant a hard time.
Probably at least a top 5 running back all the time. Baseball, man, Bo Jackson was good. 20, 30 home runs. Probably struck out a lot, but I'd say top 5 running back, at least all the time, at the very least, if he just never got hurt.
What you think, Mo?
I disagree.
Okay.
Number one, he split in carries with
Marcus Allen.
Yeah, I remember that.
He split in carries. He was a beast. But in order for him to do that, one of them had to go. Because, you know what I'm saying? Number one, he was coming in to football in baseball shape. You know what I'm saying? So he would have had to make a decision. It's either football or baseball. That's number one.
Okay.
And then number two, he would have either had to go to another team or Allen would have had to go to another team. So he could be the prime back. He wasn't getting that many carries. He was getting hella yards.
Yeah.
But he wasn't getting that many carries. And pretty soon, the athlete was going to catch up with him. You know, he was a freak. He was beyond his time. You know what I'm saying? But as everybody know, every year the athlete overall
gets better.
It gets better. That's my two.
Okay, that's a good point. What you think, Big Ralph?
You gotta kind of agree with Moses a little bit on that. I do think he would have been top 10 overall running back in the NFL. I mean, he was a bruising running back. He kind of like a Derrick Henry now, except Derrick Henry just a little bit more powerful in a sense. But for the most part, he kind of like a Derrick Henry, and I do think his baseball career suffered a lot because of football. And like Moses said, he coming from baseball shape to go to football shape, so he's gaining, dropping weight every time and all. So I think. Actually, he probably would have been better baseball-wise, and if he never got hurt, if he would have stayed mainly with baseball, he probably would have been better overall in baseball because of the fact that the dude was. Look how fast he was. Look how he played out. He was like playing outfield like Ken Griffey played outfield after him and all that. Right. How he was running, tracking down balls.
Saw that catch. He ran up.
How he was catching everything. Yeah. How he was hitting home runs. Yeah, he struck out a lot, but that could have been fine-tuned over time. You give the right hitting coach, that could have changed. So I actually think overall his baseball career would have been better than football had he not got injured. If he decided to pick which one, because like you said, he was splitting a lot of time with Marcus Allen.
I disagree, but we gonna go to right. But we gonna go to Ant. We gonna go to Ant. We gonna see what Ant got to say. Ant, what's your what if?
My what if is I was watching an old video with a 99 Rams when they won the Super Bowl, and if everybody probably know, Trent Green got hurt in the preseason. They turned it over to Warner. They ended up winning the Super Bowl. I want to know what's y'all opinion if Trent Green never gets hurt, if he stays healthy, do the Rams win the Super Bowl, or do they even have the greatest show on turf offense, period? I would say I don't think so, because when I seen Trent Green play before he got with the Rams and after, Kurt Warner had a unique ability for beating the blitz. I've never seen a quarterback, probably Peyton Manning, but Kurt Warner was really good at beating the blitz.
Say that again.
Kurt Warner was very good at beating the blitz. Not as good as Manning, but he was really good. So I want to say I don't think they probably would have been the same kind of offense with Trent Green as they is a Kurt Warner. That's what I was thinking. So,
What's your take?
Well, what y'all?
I think they would have, because before he got hurt, Trent Green was coming in his own. Remember, he went to KC and was turning up in KC, but the Rams' offense was run after catch.
Yeah.
Kurt Warner didn't have a gun. He was accurate.
Yeah.
He was very accurate. They ran a lot of slants. You know what I'm saying? They had Oz Hakeem on, you know what I'm saying?
But, you know, they just
And then
signed Trent Green the year that he got hurt. Because then he played with KC.
What he was Achilles, I think it was.
Like ACL, something like that.
ACL, okay.
Yeah.
And then you had the ultimate X factor with Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was crazy, bro. He was crazy coming out the backfield because he could catch, he could run with finesse and power.
Yeah, Marshall Faulk was.
Back then you didn't have running backs that you could put in a slot and run routes.
Nope, not like that.
You know what I'm saying? So that was crazy. He was matched up against linebackers.
They traded for him too.
Yeah,
from the coach.
What you think, bro?
I think they still would have been good. The greatest show on earth, maybe not. But I think Kurt Warner took a lot more chances than Trent Green did. He threw in a lot of different covers that Trent Green probably wouldn't have thrown into. That's why, what was that called? Dick Vermeil, if I'm mistaken.
Yeah, Mike Martz.
And so he took a lot more chances. That's why he's a little bit more successful at that time. That's probably why they liked him. But Trent Green was a little bit more conservative. But I still think they would have been that good because you had two great wide receivers. You had a Hall of Fame running back that could run routes at that time, which was unheard of. And so I still think they would have still dominated like they did. And like Moses said, they yards after the catch is what got them to be what they were so great at. So I think they still would have been great with either one. And Trent Green wasn't no slouch either at that time. He wasn't really no slouch. So
remember, they barely won that Super Bowl.
Yeah. They got lucky. They beat my I was a Titans fan at that time.
Yeah.
You know, what was it, yard and a half, I think it was.
Yeah, right there.
You know, come on now. They played a good Titans team too. You know.
Well, I'm a piggyback off what Moses and Ralph said. I think they would have been just as good.
Of course,
this is what I'm gonna give you.
I just can't agree with you.
But this is what I'm gonna give you. Trey Green would have did the thing, and I think basically it was the scheme. Because after Kurt Warner left, you still had Mark Bogan. And Mark Bogan did the same thing. Pro Bowl quarterback. He wasn't Kurt Warner.
Okay, say that.
But the offense kept rolling. So I think with Trent Green, I think the offense basically probably was perfect for Trent Green.
Yeah.
It's just Kurt Warner came in and did beyond expectations. So I think they still would have took those chances. And like Moses said, probably one of my top 5 players, Marshall Faulk.
Love it.
You know, he was for me, he was the evolution of Roger Craig. Catching out the backfield.
Just the high
stepper. But, you know, Marshall Faulk was that X factor plus the receivers. You know, you got Isaac Bruce, you got Torrey Hope, you got who's that, Isaac King. But they was explosive, so I don't think it was just the scheme itself. So if he got a quarterback that can match what he doing, I think the ball still would have been rolling.
So y'all wouldn't put Kurt Warner Hall of Fame before we give it over to you.
I think Kurt Warner was.
To me, that's what really got him.
I think he was all of
But
Fame.
He deserved it.
He got a movie coming out.
Yeah, no, that's what I was about to ask y'all. I have to check in with y'all.
When it comes to the pros,
because he got a movie.
When it comes to like NFL, it depends on your scheme.
Yeah.
But you know what I think helped them too with that what if? What if they would have changed it and they never got Marshall Faulk?
Yeah.
Marshall Faulk changed the whole dynamic of that squad.
Because they got him before
they never got him, they would have been totally different. We might not even be having that conversation.
And they got him for pennies.
He still might be bagging.
Got him for pennies.
They gave him up for, I think, gave him a draft pick?
No, they got rid of him because the coach was getting Edgerrin.
No, that's what I said, but Edgerrin
Marshall
was in
wanted
that
some
draft,
more money.
though.
Marshall wanted some more money.
Right.
The coach didn't want to give him that extension. They saw Edgerrin James. So they traded Marshall Faulk to the Rams, and they took Edgerrin James and kept rolling.
But the Rams gonna get a running back in that draft anyway. That's why they want to.
He won Marshall Faulk.
Edgerrin's gonna be sitting there. They already have a low round pick.
Marshall Faulk.
They already have a low.
So we're gonna go to Moses to see what Moses
All right.
what if is. We're
All right,
gonna keep this show rolling.
I'm gonna hit y'all with a little Chicago connection. What if Nick Anderson get those free throws in the '95 finals.
Ooh.
Magic versus the Rockets.
Ooh, that's dirty.
What if he hit those free throws?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go first.
That's dirty.
And
dig
I
it
like,
over.
You
I
would piss
like
some
Nick.
people off with that.
Yeah.
one.
If Nick hit those free throws, I actually think they sweep Houston because they act, they would let them regroup. When Nick missed those free throws, he gave them like, here we go again.
Explain the free throws he missed, though.
Hey man, he got lemon booty.
Y'all saw him
He
at the
got lemon
line.
booty.
He missed
Hey, Ralph, you saw him. He was at the line.
He missed 4 free throws.
Y'all saw
He
him
got
at
lemon
the
booty.
line.
Well, I think what
Pressure
happened.
burns pipes,
Well, I
man.
think what happened was once he went up there crunch time, you missed that first one. Now his confidence was shot.
Yeah, 'cause you
I
gotta
mean, you look
make
at
the
him, he put the
second.
camera on that man's face, he started talking to him.
Yeah.
Looked like he started sweating.
I'm gonna interrupt Ralph.
He
I'm
was-
gonna interrupt
he was
Ralph.
just
I'm gonna be
mad.
100.
Here we go.
I'm gonna be 100. This is a know-it-all exclusive. He from out west.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah.
That's out west to go to
He from
Simeon,
out
right?
west. He
That's
from
out
out
west to go to
west.
Simeon,
But
right?
check this out. He from out west, but that south side got in him.
Come on,
He lost.
man.
He lost that thuggishness of the west side, so he couldn't handle that pressure, man, and he was done.
Bro,
he
it
was
was
done.
it
That's
was
just a
free
Jimmy
throws.
special for you
Look,
I know.
right there.
I
Look,
know.
for those who don't remember, or maybe the new generation that don't know,
The YouTube generation.
right. They were up 3 points with seconds left, and Nick Anderson got fouled shooting.
Lemon booty,
Went to the
man.
free throw line, missed the first one, missed the second one, got the rebound, went up, got fouled again, 2 more shots, missed the other 2.
His confidence was shot.
No, he had the Scottie Pippen syndrome.
No, his
But,
confidence
you know,
was shot.
I want to talk
man.
about Scotty.
Scotty.
Don't start with Scotty, man. Don't
But
start.
we already
Don't
had
start,
he had the
man.
Scottie syndrome. But
Start, man.
you know,
Don't
we
mess with
gonna
dude like
we
that.
gonna leave that alone. We already had this show.
Start.
I got a personal beef with that.
But
dude,
if
man.
he
sound like that.
make
We
them
from the
free
same
throws,
spot.
if he make them free throws, man, I think they go to sweep Houston.
Right.
Yeah, and I think
I
he
think
had
they
a better
blast.
career after that too.
And I think
His
I think
confidence
his
right.
confidence go up.
I have to
But
agree with
that
Ralph.
That
totally-
momentum
Yeah.
is a mug, boy.
momentum is a mod. That's
And
a good
Houston
one.
knew they was dead, man. They knew they was
That's a
dead.
good one. So we gonna come on to Big Ralph. Big Ralph, what's your what if?
What if Ken Griffey Jr. never got hurt?
Oh, he hit 800 homers.
I'm the best.
Well, he-
I'm the
well,
best.
he had
I'm the
been
baseball guy
over
right
the
here.
team.
800 homers.
Easily.
Easy.
800.
If he never got hurt,
800.
and you the
800.
the bad part about it, I'm gonna even say I'm gonna take the one away from when he was in Seattle. We're gonna go to Cincinnati when he got
Yeah,
hurt.
yeah. That's how nothing you're talking about.
Because in Seattle he still was killing. He got
Yeah.
hurt, came right back to
Cincinnati, he got hurt about 2 straight
Cincinnati,
years.
he got hurt.
2-3
He missed
years.
almost 300 games in Cincinnati
Yeah.
within like
Like
5
5,
years.
6 yeah, 5, 6
So
years,
what
right.
really hurt him was all of them at bats now. So now the problem that you're gonna have is Ken Griffey. I think he had as a rate like he was like maybe he hit a home run once every 14, 15 at bats or something like that
I'm
at the time.
giving
Somewhere
him
in that
800
area.
almost.
So you talking about a kid that was still young, powerful as Barry Bonds,
Yep.
and played great defense.
40-40 every
And
year.
every year 40.
And can I add no
bases and
steroids?
Everything.
No steroids.
I think Ken
And he had an
Griffey-
overbite.
Well, I'm gonna correct
He would've
y'all.
been-
He didn't steal long. I think Bonds got him on the stolen base tip.
But he,
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
but see, but
combined-
he was a
Bonds
he
had
was
legs.
a
A lot of
side too.
But a lot of that came
Side
too
too.
once he started getting hurt. Once he
Yeah.
started getting hurt,
Couldn't
and them
run.
legs and them ankles and all that
Right,
started
right.
going out on him.
He still
He
wants
takes
And,
some wheels.
and then you got
Still
to
can't run.
think too. He a little bit bigger than Bonds was when Bonds was in Pittsburgh.
Griffey was like
Now when
180.
Bonds got in San Francisco, yeah, we all know he got big, everything. But he was about the same. He was about a little bit bigger than Bonds then.
Yeah.
So and then that bat speed, beautiful.
Yeah, I think
Best swing
That's when
ever.
you
I
have
say
Yeah.
800, man.
I
think
disagree.
he get 800.
I say that 800.
I disagree. I gotta. I'm always the guy to disagree.
That's right.
First of all, I think the downfall of him was switching conferences.
Switch the league.
The leagues.
No,
A lot of people, because AL pitching is way different than NL.
And his strikeouts increased from switching
Yeah.
leagues. He
Yeah.
struck out more
I
nationally.
need
His home run
Struck out
every
more.
14 at bats. That shit extended when he
Yeah.
went to
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Well, I give you
I-
credit because the
They
NL
pitch you different.
they
They pitching some dogs.
they
man.
had dogs. They was more strategically.
Right.
pitching.
But-
In the AL, they just going power.
Yeah.
And
In the
remember,
NL, you had
the NL
Glavine, Maddox.
Smokes.
You know,
before
Right.
he
But
started
then
closing.
when he
You
was
know,
still, when he
and
wasn't
then-
hurt, he still was popping 30 up
Yeah.
home runs when he was not hurt.
Yeah.
And
When-
now, every time they
Well,
played,
the reason I say
that's why I say
800,
he still would've
the
did it.
reason I say 800, because you get him 4 years,
How many homers he finished with? What was it?
He like
Six
six
something.
like
Yeah.
671.
Yeah,
something,
something
like
like
that.
that.
And he hit almost 700 home runs, and he missed almost a good 2.5 years of baseball
Yeah.
because of injury.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So
I'm
you
looking at
figure
Put that
another
in, put
100.
that in perspective.
You had that
really
That's why I said
That's why I
800.
say, yeah.
That's why I
say
that's
I
what
get
I
I'm
give you that. I
He
give
would
you
have
that.
That's
got
what
that.
I'm
And
looking
then
at.
also, too, throw a little thing. I wish he would have came to the White Sox in 05 so he got that World Series ring with him because we tried to get him, but he denied the trade. But it's cool, Griffey. I understand.
I'm going to let that go.
I ain't going to let that go.
Hey, Griffey, that was a message for you, boy. That was
It definitely was. Come on, brother. We could get you that one ring that you needed, brother.
Yeah,
That was a
that's
good
all.
goal, man.
That's all he was
All
missing.
you need is
But it's
one
cool.
ring,
Jeff
one
Blum
ring.
hit the home run. that
They
we
had some
needed,
good
though.
Seattle teams. They just couldn't beat the Yankees. They just
Yeah, they
couldn't.
had a lot of
I
good
mean,
Seattle
that's
teams,
a
but they
lot
also,
of motherfuckers
but
couldn't beat
Seattle
the
also
Yankees.
known
No,
for
yeah,
bad,
that's
for
what they was
bad
missing.
stat too.
Yeah. That's a good first round. So I'm going to start off the second go round. My second what if. Something like the Griffey thing, but not getting hurt. What if Barry Sanders wouldn't have retired? He did. If he played, I'm going to give him another 4 years. So how many yards you think he would have ended up with?
I think if he would have left Detroit and went somewhere else, Detroit. The good thing was Detroit. His offensive line was whatever you want to call it.
Trash.
But
Garbage.
Yeah, but
He
if
get the
that was-
ball.
You call it whatever you want to
They
call it.
was zone
They
scheme.
was okay.
I know.
Yeah, but every
for
time he got
most
the ball,
part,
he got a
he
linebacker
made-
line in his face.
But Barry Sanders
You
made
can see him in
more
highlights.
yardage because of him. So if he'd have left there, played anywhere, somewhere else, maybe like a Dallas later on or something like
We
that.
don't want it, bro.
Something
We had-
like
y'all
that.
killing me. We already had the greatest running back of all time. We already had the greatest
We're
running
gonna
back
stay
of all
on.
time.
We're gonna stay on topic. We're gonna stay on topic.
If he'd have went somewhere else
That's
and
another one.
play a couple more years somewhere else and all that, yeah, he probably would have a way out.
I think he get 20,000
Yeah, I think Detroit.
career
He
yards.
wasted his
I
too
think
much time.
I think he get 20,000. I think it ain't a question. If he could have got traded, which Detroit didn't do, that's why they in the predicament they in now. If they could have traded him somewhere, anywhere,
They would have got
but
a lot better players.
if they could have traded him to
Draft picks and
Miami,
everything.
if they could have traded him to Miami, at
Not when
least,
Matt Millen is running the organization.
if they trade him to Miami, he play another 4 years.
You ain't finna go nowhere.
You look at
Terrible.
1,500 a year, he over 20,000 for his career easily. The Emmitt Smith debate, overrated.
No.
Overrated.
Underrated.
Overrated.
Here y'all go.
But we're gonna leave that alone.
Playoffs?
But that's why I think
Durability?
man, he had the greatest line ever.
It don't matter.
That's not his fault.
Look, man.
Yeah.
Not his
He
fault.
came into that.
Look,
He
man.
came
Yeah.
into that. But Emmitt Smith was running the ball with separated shoulders.
Yep.
The Smith was
Giants
coming off
playoffs
his
game.
back.
This sound like
He carried
what
the
he
team,
just
bro.
said. Remind me of the Scotty fans talking about the '94 season. But we gon' and what you think Barry Sanders would have did?
I definitely agree with you. I think he probably would have cracked 20,000 yards. Let me ask y'all a question because I don't too much remember. Did he ever have a major injury in Detroit with that terrible offensive line? Any major? And they was running on AstroTurf, right?
No.
No,
I think even if he would have stayed with
Yeah,
Detroit,
yeah,
he
no
probably
injuries.
would have hit the 20,000 mark. But he would definitely been an all-time leading rusher. And I love Emmitt Smith. I feel like nobody gives him enough credit, but I definitely think he'd have hit the 20,000 yard mark if he would just stay playing. Didn't suffer any major injuries.
What
think
you
he
got,
made it.
Moses? What you got, Moses?
He would have broke the record. He would have broke the record. But like Ralph said, he would have had to leave Detroit. He definitely would have had to leave Detroit. And I'm not gonna say Detroit line was garbage because it was the scheme that was garbage. A lineman's dream is to hit a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. A lineman's dream is to hit a motherfucker. So run blocking is what they live for. They were zone blocking. So when they hike the ball, they just stand up and contain the man in front of them,
Yeah.
and Barry Sanders find a hole.
That's a different scheme.
You know what I'm saying? That's a messed up scheme. If he had him went somewhere like Denver, you know what I'm saying, with the stretch zone. You know, Denver was turning out 1,500 yard rushes.
Every year.
Best
They was
offensive
pulling
line,
them
one
off
of the best
street.
offensive line coaches ever.
You know what I'm saying?
Terrell Davis off
Mike
the
Anderson,
Man.
Orlandis Gary, Terrell Davis, and
Man,
the other
all
back.
of them, bro.
5 straight years,
He
1,000 yards.
He would have had to leave Detroit, bro. But I mean, the football gods let it pan out like it was supposed to, because Barry didn't have a heart, bro.
He did.
He talking about he changed the reason why he left so many times. Oh, I want to walk away. I want to be able to walk away from the game. Then I got so much respect for Peyton. I don't want to break his records made to be
Then your
broken, bro.
daddy
I
talking about
believe-
some.
I
I love
believe-
Walter Payton more than
I
you.
believe-
No, it was Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Yeah.
I believe the Peyton thing was real, and the fact Peyton had just died and stuff. I think the Peyton thing was real, but I'm a piggyback. I think his heart probably wasn't in it. Playing in Detroit. Later on, Megatron went through the same thing.
That take a lot out of you, bro.
It take a lot out of
Organization
you. You ain't sniffing.
Right.
You ain't sniffing winning.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
remember
5-11,
Remember
6
them
and
last
10.
3 years? Them last 3 years,
Eight.
they was pulling him out on the goal line. He
Yeah.
wasn't getting carries on the goal line.
Yeah.
They was pulling him out on the goal. I forgot their fullback, number 44. They was giving him the ball. They was lining him up.
Most of his
at
runs was
tailback.
long anyway. The little highlights they show, they never show him a goal line touchdown. Not like
So what
my
you,
boy.
what,
You know
what you
I'm
think, Ralph? Cut you off quick. What you think, Ralph?
I think you'd have broken. I mean, Barry Sanders one of the most entertaining running backs ever. Like, I mean, you look
His
at any,
highlights of
you
Bears
look at-
alone.
You look at
are
any highlights
phenomenal.
for all the YouTube people and for the kids who was born after 2000 and stuff like that. Like, you look at any of his highlights.
Just Google Barry
Like,
Sanders against
You'll
the Bears.
see his. You'll
Man,
see.
he just
When he went in the crowd and then came out.
Yeah, like
Man.
Barry Sanders was nasty, man. It sucked that he played so long in Detroit and didn't decide to go nowhere else. Because like you said, his heart probably wasn't in it after so long. And yeah, that take a lot out of you. You basically like you the person of this franchise. You faced this franchise for so long, but they not doing nothing to bring around you. Megatron dealt with the same thing, except only thing with Megatron is he had Matthew Stafford there with him
least
and
get
all
him
that.
the ball.
But Stafford dealt with it once Megatron retired. So they started
Bottom line,
realizing
you ain't winning.
you're not winning in
winning.
Detroit. It's
So-
been like that with Detroit football for
Matt Millen.
how many times they made the playoffs? What in the last 30 years? They made the playoffs maybe twice.
And they lost to
And
Dallas.
and I think I
they
might
lost
have
to
a
Dallas.
That was
on
Barry. That was Barry.
Yeah. So I mean,
How they make the playoffs after that too?
It was
Lost
they
to
had-
Dallas
they had-
recently with Stafford. I thought you just said period as overall.
yeah, I
The last
mean,
2
it's probably
years,
about
yeah.
2-3 times they might have made it.
Right,
But-
they
Just
made it
once.
with Scott Mitchell and they made it.
You know what they made with Scott
Rodney
Mitchell, and
Rodney
then when they had the black head coach Caldwell.
Oh, college, Jim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the I'm talking about. They lost to Dallas in the wild
Yeah,
card.
So that's
game.
what 3.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
3 then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
All right, so and what's your second?
So you sent something to me. All the years of Mike is points per game and all that. You know, I was looking at the '84 draft and all that. So if the Blazers would have drafted Mike at 2 instead of the way it went, would Jordan would have had a different career if he played with the Portland Trailblazers? Then you got drafted by the Bulls.
I like this one.
I just ask 'cause
I'm gonna let y'all go.
I mean,
I'm gonna let
y'all older than
y'all
me.
go first.
Y'all
I'm gonna let
older than me,
y'all
I
go
think.
first.
Basketball was, they had a lot more quality teams back in the 80s and 90s. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay.
So I was thinking, I was like, dang, Mike at 84 playing in the West. They got
I'm gonna let y'all go.
Magic out there. They got the Lakers, the Blazers and all. I'm like, man, I wonder if he would have had the same impact. I'm gonna say yeah, because it's Mike. Of course, I'm biased, but how you feel about it? You think he would have had the same impact?
It would have been worse. I mean, better for Mike. It would have been better for Mike because Mike is Mike.
Right. That's what I said.
You can't change that chip he had on his shoulder, his work ethic, none of that. But you remember he go to the West, that's a running gun, bro. Wasn't no defense played out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't got to deal with Detroit. You know what I'm saying? 4 times a year?
Yeah.
They was
He ain't
playing
gotta-
more times. They was playing like 6 times.
Right. He ain't got to deal with that. He only got to deal with the Detroits and the Bostons only 2 times a year. So he out there, he playing with Phoenix where they just running. Everybody
Denver.
running. That's
Denver. They
it was
averaging
open court. That he would have shined. He
Look,
would have
in the
killed out
80s,
there.
Denver was averaging 120 a game.
He would have killed out there, bro.
So what you think, Big Round?
Did y'all see who had it? I know it don't matter, y'all. Y'all see who had in their roster when Portland when Mike got.
I mean, Mike had that chip on him, but you got Clyde there already.
That's how I was.
And so, only thing I would have seen, it would have been I don't know if he would have had the same impact he had with the Bulls right away, because you got Clyde there already, so they'd be bumping heads every time because of the fact that they're the exact same player. They both at that time was high flyers. Mike was a little bit better shooter and all, but I don't think they would have been right on with each other. Now, given what could have helped them is the fact that, okay, you probably could have started Mike and Clyde 2 and 3,
Yeah.
and you would probably been locking people up in the West and all that. And like Moses was saying too, it was running gun. So yeah, Mike probably would have got out a lot on the wings and able to dunk a lot because early in his career is mostly what he did. So he probably had that high flying technique, but in terms of do he learn how to play defense, better defense later on, and the impact he started having on things, I mean, it's give or take. And I don't know if it would have been as great.
I'm gonna let you chime in, Moses, before I give my.
Yeah, because I definitely want
Let me
to
throw this out there real quick. Y'all know Clyde started playing shooting guard when he came to the league. He was a point guard in college.
Because he was on the Five Slammer Jumper team.
Yeah.
But who was the point guard at that time?
He would have ran point.
The
They
Blazers
would've made
point
room
guard
for
was
Mike,
what?
bro.
Cheeks?
Who was their point guard at the time?
Was it Cheeks?
No,
No.
She's played with Philly.
It wasn't
was
Terry
their point
Porter
guard?
either, because Terry Porter
Terry
wasn't there
Porter
yet.
didn't come. He
Yeah,
came.
later.
He came a year later.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily remember who
They
their
would-
point
they
guard
would-
was.
So my analogy on that, I think Mike would have changed the whole dynamic of Portland. I think Portland would have had to. I think they would have traded Clyde.
I agree.
Because I think once they went to training camp, that whole dog of Mike would have. I think that would have came out.
Right.
It would have forced them to trade Clyde, which would have got them the big man they needed. They still had Jim Paxson there at the time. I think Jim Paxson was probably running point because he. I think Jim Paxson was running point. John Paxson, brother, was running point. I think they would have traded Clyde and got them a big man. They might have got Ralph Sampson. Because
that would have.
I could see them trading Clyde back to Houston to play with Elijah Wan because they was college teammates, and I could see them making a play for Ralph Sampson. But that's just my what if scenario. I think Portland would have traded, like I say, Clyde. I think Mike, he still had his fundamentals from Carolina, so he still played D and everything. So I think he would have been the same player. And I'm piggyback off Moses being in the West. They was running gun. So he get to run is more free form. Just like you see interviews with Mike, he say it's more free. The league is more free form. So I think the East made him tougher, but I think being in the West, and I think just that drive, he in the same conference as Magic. He gonna want to prove he can win.
Right.
So I think he still would have been the dog, and he would have been easier in Nike because he would have been in Portland.
Right
They
there.
headquarters.
Yeah.
Right there.
You know,
Right
Still, but you'd have had to drive Clyde out of there. If you don't,
I
you
think-
don't
I
drive
think-
Clyde
I
out.
think- I think he drives Clyde
Do we get
out.
Magic Way?
In Rook, I think he drive Clyde out in preseason.
Do we get Magic Way? If
Do
he
we
out
get a
there?
Magic Way?
Do we stop any of the rings?
It's the same problem that he faced in the East.
I know.
When he was in the East, the Celtics is the top 5 team all time. So you talking about the 84, 85, 86, 87, 88 Lakers? Nah, he ain't stopping none of that. And I'm the ultimate Mike fan. He ain't stopping none of that.
Right.
He ain't stopping none of that.
And you're not stopping the Houston teams either in that time.
But what people don't talk about how tough the West was. You had Houston, you had Utah.
That's what I was just about
you
to
had
say.
Phoenix, you had Dallas.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about Dallas. You had
Denver.
Derek Harper now. Derek Harper, Mark Aguirre, Rolando Blackman. You know,
he played for
Denver
Dallas.
with Alex English, Fat Lever. You know what I'm saying? The West had.
That's why I asked. That's why I brought it up. Just
The West was. They
what he
talk
still
about
would've
the
been
West
nice.
was tough.
The West was tough.
It really
Look at the
was.
Bulls. The Bulls making the playoffs. They had an under 500 record making the
Yeah.
playoffs.
They just snuck
In the
in there.
West in the 80s, dude,
Shit ain't
you
fine.
winning
Yeah.
50.
That's
you
why I brought it up just to
7-8
see.
seed. So
If you even make it at the time,
So
too,
it
you
was.
might have needed 54,
Look, the
55.
West. They don't talk about it. The West was rough. So I think Mike would have ran into the same problems. Do I think he wins 6 rings? That's give or take. I don't think he do it because them Lakers.
Hey, and then
What-
and then when
wait.
you know you go too, your boy Scottie Pippen goes to Seattle now.
If he go to
33,
Seattle,
33.
I ain't gonna even talk about that.
He go to Seattle and he ain't top 50 NBA player.
Not
of all
even
time.
close.
Moses, what's your second what if?
What if Lynn Bias had lived?
I'm gonna start on that one because I know them two youngest, but I know Ralph on. I like Len Bias.
I know about Len Bias. He
I
always
like-
throw me under the bus.
I like Len Bias, but him going to the Celtics, that's a whole different dynamic because he getting to learn from Bird and McHale, and he don't have the pressure of being the man. So they just like how they did Reggie Lewis, and they got Reggie Lewis a year later, but they groomed him into being the man. So as soon as Bird don't retire, it just roll over.
Right.
And I think him and Mike developed that Magic and Bird rivalry. It continued from college. I think that's just it continue on. I think he was a monster. He was a monster. I think he would have fit with the pro game. I think he'd fit in with the rough D.
Yeah.
I think All-Star, Hall of Famer. I think he'd have been all that. I think he'd have been a monster. The little bit I've seen of him, he had a jumper.
Mm-hmm.
He was a fierce rebounder, and in the league, if you got a jumper, that changed the whole dynamic of your game.
You win there.
I mean, you could go to the bucket and everything, but if you got that jumper, he had a nice 15-footer. He'd been amazing. We're gonna go. I go to you, Ant. What you think, man? Yeah, ain't no disrespect.
Look.
This one being true.
I done
ain't
seen
no
Len
disrespect.
Bias college highlights. He looked like he was pretty good. This the guy that got into the accident, right?
Nah, he OD.
He got into some
Yeah.
white stuff.
Yeah. I would say he probably been a pretty good NBA player. That's all I can speak on because I've seen it more of his
I
college
got you.
highlights
I
than I heard
got
the
you.
story.
I got
So
you.
I'll just leave it
I
at
respect
that.
that. What you think, Ralph?
I think Len Bias would have been everything he was hyped up to be. He was like, look at his build. He was like LeBron James in the '80s. The dude body was just he was a grown man,
grown man.
college.
No, I saw his
And
college
then
highlights.
he came
He was
into the
built
league.
for that grind of the
Exactly. He was built like he had that body. He would have came in
6'8"?
there. He probably would have been. He probably just first started coming out maybe off the bench a couple games because Boston already had that team. And like y'all said, he would have learned off of McHale and all that. He learned a little bit better post moves. But what got him over was he was athletic. He can rebound. He had a nice 16, 18-foot jump shot.
Man, can you imagine him and Dominique going at it?
Yeah, he could have. I think he could have gotten Dominique.
I'm just saying, just
And the dude had bounce, and he had the dog syndrome. Like
You can see it in the college highlights.
like
You can see
the
it.
dude can play. It was tragic what happened and all that, but I think he probably been top 50, top 75.
They said he was having.
The dude was good.
That's what I was told when I seen it.
he what?
He was happy. He was playing in college.
Hey man, everybody was out. Man. So Ralph, what's your second one?
I think it was okay. What if the MLB doesn't go on strike in 1994?
This one is
Me personally,
I'm a baseball
I'm a
guy.
White Sox fan. It's my team. White Sox won the World Series. I don't care what nobody say.
You know what? I'm a piggyback on that.
Even though Cleveland and all them was getting right behind them, he was getting there, but that team was tough. And I mean, you got
Cleveland was nice in the 90s,
you
bro.
got your Toronto fans out there. They was
Cleveland
good
was
too,
nice.
but I really think that '94 MLB strike it hurt the MLB for a good 10 years probably or so in terms of fan base.
Yeah.
And it hurt also a lot of different players becoming better,
Definitely,
or a lot of
definitely
players
for sure.
even making it to
Definitely
the
starting to
MLB.
grow.
Yeah.
So I think
Definitely
it,
for sure.
and also the players that end up coming from the Dominican Republic and all that kind of slowed them a lot down too, because there could have been a lot more that could have came at that time frame too. So yeah, that's my what if the '94 season.
For
What
me,
if you
that
don't-
'94, you had the Expos because they was just as loaded with talent. But I'm a Sox fan. I think they would have won because I think they was gradually building up from 90, 91, 92, 93 losing to Toronto. I think 94 they was just on that. And I think Frank was in his prime.
Robin
You had Robin.
Cora.
They pitching staff
Yeah.
was
Come on, man.
nice.
That team.
They was young. I think they would have been a juggernaut. I think they would have played, like I say, I think they would have played the Expos in the World Series. I think the strike really hurt the Expos because it caused them to lose their team
They
and
broke up,
everything.
yeah.
And all they players went on to kill Larry Walker, Vlad Guerrero, Pedro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think Pedro took the longest out of all of them.
yeah, but I'm just saying the youth movement. They had a youth movement similar to the White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think, me personally, I do think the Sox was gonna win that year because like the next year you had Cleveland coming with their young Thundercats. But I think the White Sox was right at that peak that teams get, and I think they would have won. What you think, Ant? I know you was about 4 when that happened.
The '94 season, that was the lockout.
Yeah.
It hurt baseball because I'm gonna be honest. I started watching baseball probably in like '97, '98, but the home run race kind of got the game a little.
What you think the White Sox would have did?
Who cares about the White Sox?
That's the question.
I don't think
That's
they would have
the
won.
question.
Come
I don't
on,
think they
okay.
would've
Come
won.
on, Cubs fan.
I don't think they
Okay.
would have won. I'm a Cubs fan. I'm gonna buy it. I don't think they would have.
Okay.
We know.
They wouldn't
We
win.
know.
That's what I
Once
think.
again, we know why this is the trash bag.
Yeah, simple. They,
You just want
Okay.
they won't
to
win.
the truth.
What you think, Moses?
Sox had a good young team. I don't think they win the World Series. Montreal wins it, hands down, because I think the youth and the inexperience would kick in with the White Sox.
Well, I'm gonna disagree on that because they just went to the playoffs.
They went to the
Yeah,
play.
before-
I mean,
yeah,
going to the
before.
playoffs and winning it.
They didn't win,
It's
but
two
they're
different
still
things.
experienced.
We go to the playoffs every year, and we end up in the third
And
place.
the White
game.
Sox go to the
Yeah,
playoffs
we
now.
we talking about
and
Talking about
softball.
still
softball.
lose.
and you think about it. Why? The inexperience. You know what I'm saying? We get in the big game, and you know what I'm saying? Some just happen.
Well, Montreal didn't have no experience.
Vladimir was still young.
But you just figured talent.
They had a young Wild
You
Sox.
looking at it talent for
They
talent.
exposed all of them
The
prospects.
Expos, their guys was there a couple of years earlier. You know what I'm saying? So
No, I think
No.
if I'm not mistaken,
No,
I
they
think
all was like 1 or 2.
all of
good
them was
players.
like in the same.
Yeah.
The White
They all
Sox
wasn't in the
player.
same class.
The
They
White
was not
Sox
in the-
player.
The Sox was
The
older,
Sox
like,
player actually
Frank-
was older because Frank
Frank
was
was
like
like
Frank
in
like
for
4th,
6
5th year.
years.
Yeah.
And then you have
Well,
Ventura.
Moses, hold on.
Ventura
Moses, check it out.
Ventura
Half
was
of-
young.
stop saying Frank with his soft ass, man.
Half
Wow.
of half of the
Baseball?
This nigga was
Expos
soft, man. This
roster.
nigga, what he
He
pull
was
Years
his?
later,
he
was
was
an All-Star
MVP that
game.
year,
What he
bro.
pull his?
His elbow, I know.
Hey, man.
But he was
He
MVP
was
that
still
year.
young.
Now he can't swing the bat.
You
man.
can't
No,
deny
that's-
his
that's
ass,
when he was
bro.
in his
Come
bag
on.
then.
Come on, man. And then they still had the players.
I'm
Even Ozzy and them was still
Serviceable.
veterans almost by the
Serviceable.
end.
I'm saying
Like, they
he's
was not
soft.
that young.
I'm saying he's soft because remember he played tight end for Auburn.
Yeah.
Took a hit and left the field. Soft.
He
Hey,
realized
man.
baseball was better for him.
SOF capital T.
He made a business decision.
Right. He
made a
realized
business
baseball was
decision.
better for him.
Like, dude.
Okay.
A lot of players make that decision. though.
Right, they do.
What's
All
happening?
right, that's going
This
good.
drill made a lot of basketball players.
Man.
We gonna go around to our third question, third and final question. My third question to the panel. I'm gonna start with the Cubs fan. In 03, if Steve Bartman doesn't interfere with the foul ball, do the Cubs win? Do the Cubs win that series, and do they go on to win the World Series? What do
They
you think?
win the series, but they don't. I don't think they win the World Series. I'm being completely honest. They don't win the World Series, but they'll win that series. That took off. They took the momentum. Period.
Okay.
I
I don't think that took the momentum.
I don't think it took. I'm gonna tell you what took it though.
The next
The
play.
next
No, no, no,
That wasn't even
I
the next
said
play.
he-
The next play.
he moved the ball.
The
I
next
was
play.
gonna
They got a single into the. They got a double into left, right back
Yeah,
to Moises.
yeah.
And then they had a wild pitch or a walk or whatever. And then it was bases loaded and all that.
Gonzalez.
Then Alex Gonzalez.
Well,
got the
okay,
ball
okay,
hit
okay.
right
Let me-
to
let me-
him,
let me slow down. Let me slow
routine,
down.
And should have been a double play.
Yeah.
And the score was 3-1.
I know.
Before, for one, Moises Alou would have caught that. And all that. If you really go back to it, you look
What-
at it. If
Facts.
you look at it,
Well, hold
Big facts.
No, hold on.
Big facts. Big facts.
For one, you look at it. They that is probably like the most talked about incident in history of baseball
Yeah.
at this point in time.
Because of the Cubs.
You look at it. For one, Moises Alou was not.
That's my favorite team. It's true.
Moises Alou was not the greatest
Remember-
outfielder in the first place.
No, he's a better hitter than
Yes,
outfielder.
but two, you look at it. The ball was a little bit past him and all that.
He was not athletic at
And
all.
then also, too, the ball was
No.
in the stand, so if fan
None of the
at any point
Alous
in time,
was.
he go grab the ball. It was in the stand. Then two, and all that. For one, there's a lot of other things that should happen. Mark Price shouldn't even still been pitching.
Yeah.
Should have been out the game.
Dusty
and
made
all
a
that.
little
Dusty
questionable
Baker was
decision.
killing him to
Yeah.
carry wood. And then also, like I said, with that play, it was the score was 3-0 when it happened.
Yeah.
You had all them bases that come up after that. Then Miguel Cabrera comes up to hit because he's the one who hit it to Alex Gonzalez.
He was 20 in this series.
A routine play that he shut his glove too early and all that. Missed the double play. It was 3-1 at that time. He missed the double play. Boom, 3-3. Game's over with at that point in time. Do they win that series? No. Even though they still lost the series, but they do not win it.
And everything you're saying is right. This what it was for me. When I saw him miss the ball, he wasn't gonna catch it. It was the reaction. All the goofy shit he did after that. That's why I said it took the momentum. He slamming down his glove, jumping up and down. That's why. I knew he wasn't gonna catch the ball, but just all of that, it just took the out of him.
Even let's say he catches the ball. He catches it, right? That's still 1 out. And all that. You still go, Mark Pryor throws the ball over the plate for the next couple times when he got the hits. These were not balls that was like thrown too far. So these was hittable back pitches that
but
threw.
I played baseball and played it almost every level. It's a game
Momentum
of pitches and momentum.
everything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I figure if they get out, or if he don't jump up and down and act all crazy,
right? They was playing for 6 outs, right?
If you don't act all crazy, I feel like
look at Mark Pryor. Look at Mark Pryor reaction. That's all.
So what you think, Moses?
Look at his reaction.
Before I have my take on it.
Dusty Baker cost them that game, first of all. Moises, whatever his name is, he don't catch that ball.
PP man.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
he
on his
grip on the back.
For grip.
That's some weird.
If Bartman don't catch that ball, the guy next to him catches.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Alu's reaction was blown out of proportion. What Dusty should have did was call timeout and reel his team in.
Mound visit.
You know what I'm saying? That caused Pryor to overstride and throw that. You know what I'm saying? Because adrenaline is a mug.
Yeah.
And if you don't control it and it's going the wrong way, you could do some goofy stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I'm saying? Gonzalez. Not only did he commit his glove too early, but he was looking up. If you pause it, he looking up. You know what I'm saying? All that routine stuff. So if Dusty calls a timeout, we talking about none of this.
You got Miguel Cabrera running down the line, who's always been slow, even when he was young.
Yeah.
Coming down first. You got the easy out of second, and would have got Miguel Cabrera.
I just think that reaction just took the air out the stadium.
I'm gonna give my analogy, and I am not a Cubs fan,
right
but I'm gonna be a little petty with my analogy. You know, even if Alu catches it, me personally, I want the Cubs to win. And then I want them to get humiliated in the World Series just to stick it in the Cubs' face. That would have made it even better.
Morale.
But I'm going to say
They
that.
played what, the Yankees?
They would have played the Yankees.
Almost there.
But, but I still think, personally, even if Alu catch it, I still think they're going to lose their game. Because, like Moses said, because of Dusty Baker. But my problem with a lot of Chicago teams, they want to point the blame at one certain incident. Right. So they blame Bartman. Just like I had a piggyback on the Bulls with Hugh Hollins called. Even though they lost Game 6, they still had Game 7. They was going to lose it.
That was
just like with the Bulls. Still had Game 7 to win. So even though they lost their game, you still got another game. So I don't think they still would have won that series because I think they'd have lost their game. Had the lead Game 7. Still lost.
I know, but
so I still think they lose. I think they use Bartman as a scapegoat for their
that's true.
mess ups.
Bartman saved Dusty. Dusty was a terrible coach that whole year, man.
He messed up 2 careers.
Yeah, I don't say they was getting lucky. He was getting lucky. His team was holding. He was making some.
Cubs had a lot of home runs that year in 03. The long ball in baseball could get you out of some crap.
Right,
it's an easy fix.
It's not always gonna make you win.
No, it doesn't. It's just it could have all the BS.
Got lucky with that was Oakland.
Right. So, and what's your last question?
I'm gonna keep it basketball. The lockout '99. I was arguing with you in the shot. If the Bulls stay together, they play 99 season. If I'm correct, the Spurs won the NBA championship with a 99. So, do y'all think that the Bulls would have beat the Spurs in '99?
Definitely.
Hell no.
Because you got a young Tim Duncan. I think he's in his second, third year. You got a David Robinson, and the Bulls barely beat them. I think in '98. I was during the pandemic. I was rewatching the game when they played the Spurs. The Spurs had a different team in '99 than the '98 season, but the Bulls, I think, just barely beat them. So I'm asking y'all, do y'all think the Bulls would have just beat them? Y'all think
I'm
the
definitely
Bulls
gonna
would
go
have
last on this one.
I'm saying, like Jimmy said, hell no. No.
Reason.
You got two dogs. You got Robinson and Duncan. Duncan, this was third year maybe in all on that team and all that.
Yeah, because you only want
Who would have guarded Duncan? Nobody. Who would have guarded Robinson? You can't guard. Robin can't guard both of them. And good luck trying to guard them. And then you had a good team. That's a good team. Them bigs alone, the Bulls would have struggled with that just alone. Now, yeah, okay, you might have had Jordan, just another, but Popovich, great coach and all that. He would have had little schemes for Jordan and all that. We'd have took the heart out of Pippen. Point blank and simple. And but the whole thing is we're going to get a ball to Duncan and
He's
Robinson.
Spurs fan?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm hearing the week. Okay.
Go ahead,
The
Mo.
whole-
But don't forget the Bulls beat them the year
Go ahead,
before.
Mo.
That's
Go
fine.
ahead, Mo.
Oh, we're talking about in '99, and then we got Malik Rose.
Yeah. Y'all updated the
And all
roster.
that,
They
come on, man. That's a tough team.
one more other guy y'all had too that
It would have been the
team
Bulls'
yeah.
last championship. It would have been their first Game 7.
I really want to hit with you
Game
guys.
7 in the finals.
Yeah,
I would have said I could go 7.
it's real hard to
He
be
over there.
all of that experience in a 7-game series. Yeah, they got the Twin Towers, but you think about it. Rodman was the ultimate. He was me in softball. He could get up under your skin without even running a play.
And he guarding Duncan.
But you're not rattling Tim Duncan. You ain't never seen Tim Duncan rattle ever.
We don't know.
We don't know that.
We talking about a young Tim Duncan that didn't have to deal with him.
But you had to play. He played against him plenty of times.
Yeah, but he didn't play against the winning cocky Rodman.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
different.
but he's still the same Rodman though.
But when you winning and talking shit to a motherfucker,
But
and then you got Mike coming down, he hitting that elbow.
I get what Ralph said because Rodman played on the Lakers. What that '99 year? Then he wore that odd ass number. Was it like
Yeah,
73?
but you
The
still-
Spurs beat them in '99 in the playoffs.
But still Duncan dealt
correct.
with Kevin Garnett his whole career, who gets in your face, in your head, smack them on the back of his head and all that. You don't see that man rattle one time. This the dude the same height size as him.
We talking about the
Who guarding Mike?
We talking about the guy that
A lot of
stuck his
people.
thumb.
A lot of
and
I was gonna ask you that, bro. You the basketball guy. Who guarding
he stuck his
Mike?
thumb in Malone booty and got Malone checked up.
This is what my
Rodman he play little games, man.
Yeah, but
this
Duncan
is my
ain't getting
take.
rattled.
This is my take on it. Nah, they ain't beating the Spurs, and the reason why I say, I'm a Spurs fanatic.
That's why
And,
you're saying that.
I'm a Spurs fanatic.
That's
I'm a
why
Spurs.
you-
Listen,
I'm a-
yeah, but I'm saying, y'all.
I'm a
I'm
Laker
a
guy,
guy.
but
I'm a
realist.
Let me give my analogy. 98.
What is Avery Johnson
Wait,
doing?
let me
Bringing the
talk.
ball
Let me
up. That's
talk.
it.
98. The Bulls finished Utah limping.
Yeah.
They limped to the finals. 99, they coming right back limping. They them old dudes who on that last leg. And you got them young Thundercats, man. You got they. I don't even think the Bulls make the finals the next year. I think Indiana gets them. Because I think Indiana does to
How
them.
can you say
Listen to, let me go. I think Indiana does to them what they did to Detroit.
Yeah.
I honestly think Indiana gets them.
You got a point.
But they played the Knicks in the finals in '99. Like
You're not listening. They played the Knicks because Indiana was gearing for the Bulls. A letdown. They had a letdown. They ain't worried. They ain't thinking about them. Indiana was focused on the Bulls. We beat the Bulls. We could beat anybody. I ain't got the Bulls to play. It's a letdown. I think they come get a Bulls a mollywop.
that's biased.
But if they play the Spurs,
Agree with that.
y'all can say what y'all want about Rodman. He ain't shaking Duncan. Duncan
Who
giving
guarding
him
Mike?
Dunk. I'm gonna get the Mike.
Okay, so what?
Mike
okay,
gonna get him.
He not shaking Duncan. Okay, so they take him off of Duncan and put him on Robinson. Is he shaking Robinson?
Probably.
He could shake Robinson.
Okay, like I said,
But that young Thundercat-
he canceling one of them.
He gonna
But
cancel
look,
one,
he
but that young
canceling one.
Thundercat is gonna give them.
Duncan.
This is what I'm gonna say, and this is how I'm gonna get y'all again. The one team who got the Bulls the first 3-peat, Houston.
Yeah. Elijah
Houston would have ate them up.
Can't guard Elijah.
Duncan would have been Elijah Wan of them.
But we didn't have Robin the first three.
Duncan would have been Elijah Wan. He'd have been a kryptonite. A dominant big man was the Bulls' kryptonite.
Yeah.
They always had problems.
Duncan would have been their kryptonite.
And you
Mike
got
would
two of
have.
them.
Mike messed around with an average 40 because they had Jared Jackson as their two guard.
Vinny Del
Then
Negro and all
Vinny
that
and
team.
Avery. So I think
But they
Mike
went
would
on the
have been.
99 team.
What
They,
this-
the Spurs
Jared
updated
Jackson
the roster.
was.
Well,
Jared
no,
Jackson
not
was.
Dale never was,
Del
but he
Negro was on
was.
that team.
Jared Jackson was. But what I'm saying is, Mike probably
I'm
would have
gonna look
averaged.
that up.
I ain't gonna even give him 40 because Mike was old.
You talking
He
about
was
Jared
big.
Jackson, the point?
Nah, he was two guards.
Because y'all had Sean Elliott too, right?
Yeah, we had
Yeah.
Sean
Sean
Elliott.
Elliott hit the shot for the
Yeah, to get
Jared
that.
Jackson was starting at two guard.
Where he go to school at? Georgia Tech, was that?
That's no.
Number 2, right?
No. Jared
Number 2.
Jackson is Jared Jackson
For
Jr. played
Spurs.
with Memphis.
The,
Is his old man. He was a
I'm thinking
journeyman.
about somebody
He was a
else.
journeyman.
Yeah.
I'm
You
thinking
think
about
about Jared Jack, the point guard, played for Georgia
Right,
Tech.
ball head.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I was
That was
thinking.
later.
Nah, that's later.
I think,
right.
I'm thinking the Bulls would have. It would have been 4 finals in a row. I think their body would have been wore out. I think
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games.
But
And
the
I believe
99
them
was a
young-
lockout season, Ralph. They
That's-
had a
I
little more
believe- I
time. I'm
believe
just
they had
saying,
a
a
little
little more
You
time.
know what works backwards for the Bulls is 50 games. You sat. They just started playing to January.
Exactly.
That if you're an older player, that hurts you.
No.
That hurts you.
Then you
I
said-
think it
that
would have helped them.
helps
Pretty well.
That helps
Yeah.
them because their body is recuperating from.
That's what I was saying.
I think it would have helped.
Now, y'all short
That's
season.
if you out there actually working out still like you supposed to stay in game shape. Like, okay, yeah, we gonna play. Remember, it was an uncertainty for a while that they might just lose that whole year, and then they got it done with between Christmas and New Year's. Like, all right, we gonna have this. We gonna have 50 games. Playoffs gonna start at this time. We gonna get it done. We gonna go from there.
But with the Bulls, come on. If MJ
And y'all Spurs fans, how far did that next series go?
MJ
What was
getting out of shape.
what y'all won in 5?
I'm gonna give you the.
That's even better.
the
No,
ultimate
no, I'm
X
saying
factor.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
The
Go ahead,
ultimate
Mo.
X factor. The ultimate X factor was Phil Jackson.
Exactly.
You think Phil Jackson would have just let them sit around and get fat? No, he would have let
No,
them rest.
it wouldn't have been Phil. MJ.
He would have.
MJ wasn't gonna let them do it.
Yeah,
But-
that's what I'm saying. The uncertainty because for the
But-
longest they had no idea they was gonna actually even play.
But Phil would have had them ingesting because that's what set San Antonio apart from everybody else.
That's a
That's-
final. That's a final.
'cause
Though.
Pop-
I have been wanting.
Pop was.
I have been wanting my whole life.
I would have voted.
Pop was
I feel
smart.
go 7.
Pop was smart. Pop was like, okay, we
Bulls
might
and
not
Knicks
play,
Played them in '99.
and we might play. I'd rather have a gun and not use it than to need a gun and don't have it.
yeah, but
That's
then,
a- that's
but
a-
then with Robbins at the whole time.
That's a
In
good
Vegas
debate, but
acting crazy.
we could
Still
debate that
showed
a
up
whole
before.
lot.
Yeah,
Still did what he had to do.
No, this month.
I'm just saying this.
Rodman was
this
different,
is,
though.
This is 4 months
That
of
ball
not
was-
having no basketball activity probably with him.
No,
and
Rodman-
able to go party and do everything
But
else.
that's his average summer though.
Yeah,
But you know what?
He had
that's
crazy
his way of
endurance.
unwinding, bro.
Right.
So if y'all think that the Bulls on their last leg in '99, how far y'all think the series go if the Bulls even play them in the finals? I know he don't
think
think they
it
get
goes
that
7.
far. You
I
think
don't
go?
think go 7.
I knew that. That's why I asked it because I didn't think he thought it was going to go
6.
7.
I think you go 7 just because you got to figure each other out. And I think they would have had the problems of trying to figure each other out. Yeah, Mike would have went crazy. There's no doubt about that.
I think 33
And,
would have nut up. So,
But yeah,
I
they
don't think so.
would have been slowing down Pippen, and then they would have been trying to figure out how we gonna stop these Twin Towers. Because I think what happens is too, game 1 and 2, the Spurs come in and smack them off of Duncan and Robinson because they're like, okay,
Then the Bulls make adjustments.
Exactly. How do we
then it's a
how
chess
do we
match.
adjust to that? Yeah.
Then it's a chess match.
I think they win the first two
Moses,
games.
go back
You
and
don't
look at
think
them
they'll-
2
you don't
games
think
against the
they'll
Spurs
adjust
in
after the first
98.
game?
I think it'll probably take them at least to the
roster.
third.
I think the first 2 games, I think they'll make the first game a fluke. Because that's how arrogant the Bulls are. Like, man, this happened for game 1 to final.
And he don't like
Then
Mike.
the who don't?
No, I think they come out game 1.
Nah,
San
it ain't-
Antonio come out
it ain't-
game 1.
it ain't-
He's a
Yeah.
Spurs fan. He already.
Yeah, no, that's what I
But
said.
it-
You know, you can't.
When Duncan, I ain't gonna say he didn't like Mike.
I just heard this 2
he
weeks
didn't fear
ago.
Mike.
Yeah, I just heard
That's
this
a
2
whole
weeks ago.
different
Yeah.
thing. So Moses, what's your
I
final?
basically gave mine.
No, I'm saying your final. What if?
Oh, snap. Oh, what if the Chris Paul trade had went through to the Lakers?
Oh, that'd have been nasty.
Woo,
I
Lakers
think the
was in
NBA.
tough.
I think the
But
NBA.
it ain't a slam dunk because you remember the Lakers gave up Paul Gasol in that trade.
I still think
They
they
still
would
have-
have
You
been.
said
Bro.
Andrew Bynum.
Andrew Bynum, man, Odom, right?
This
No,
is
Odom was a part
this
of the
is
trade.
this is
That
what
was
I'm.
the downfall of Odom.
But this
in the
is
league
what
out
I'm gonna
there.
say with Chris Paul coming down. He make everybody better.
He does.
Yep.
Chris Paul with an offset Paul Gasol leaving, he'd have made Andrew Bynum a monster. Just like he did Tyson Chandler.
And every other big man.
Every big man he have.
And
He gonna get him involved. He gonna get him involved early to keep him going. I'm gonna give you a couple alley-oops.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a couple
Build that
post
confidence,
ups,
right.
and I'm gonna tell Kobe, look, we're gonna let the big boy get off. Let him get off. Hold back a little bit.
You make all your shooters.
And Kobe gonna
worthy and all
respect
that, get in.
Chris Paul.
I was just about that.
And let Chris Paul do his thing.
He definitely takes a lot of pressure off of Kobe.
Yep.
Exactly.
And you make everybody else around you. You make Luke Walton and all of them. It was Luke. Luke might not still been there.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kobe
but you
get-
make all your
Kobe
role
gets
players
6
better
rings, man.
and they start
Kobe
hitting more
gets 6
shots.
rings.
Yeah,
More than that, man.
they
I
become
think he
tough.
get more than that.
Look how he had to do Gasol. He had to literally get in Gasol's butt every other game.
He was
showing him. Yeah, he was very
And
soft.
see, he
And,
got somebody with Chris Paul
who is fiery just like him.
just as feisty as he is.
So it
Just
makes
a-
it tough.
Just a butthole as he is.
Chris Paul.
So instead of Kobe being the villain, I got 2 of y'all over here in our grill.
Let me get my shit.
Let me get my stuff together. You know what I'm saying? So I think that trade worked out.
So they vetoed that
That was-
trade. I remember that.
was-
Yeah,
They won't go like
they
that.
vetoed that
Yeah,
trade.
we'll go
the,
like that.
NBA owned the New Orleans
North,
Pelicans
yeah,
at that
at
time.
that
Right,
time.
they was
So-
going through.
So they was going through something. And all that.
So they knew if they'd have traded their best player, it would
be
be
over.
basically.
And see, and Davis
So
and
Pelicans
by the
was-
NBA
they was
owning
getting
that.
They was getting a lot. The Pelicans was getting a lot
So
in that trade.
yeah, they was getting a lot.
That's true.
With the league.
Pelican was getting Odom, Kevin Martin, Scola, and Dragic.
Yeah.
But Odom, I'm agree with Ralph. Odom ain't Odom unless he was at that time playing with the Lakers. That's what I.
That was the downfall of him.
Yeah.
But I still think, just like all us agree with, I think they win multiple titles. We going with our time going down, Ralph. What's your
So my
last one?
The last one was, what if Kobe and Garnett had to go to college?
Oh, I think it's the Melo factor. I think it's the Melo effect. How Melo did with Syracuse. I think if Kobe goes to Duke, man, I think Duke is nasty that year. I don't think they win because it's Duke, but I think they nasty. If KG go to, let's say, Carolina, I think they win.
I look at the mass effect of it afterwards. That Kevin Garnett 95, Kobe 96.
Yeah.
So look at all the players that came behind it. If all of them had to go to school 1 year, like they have it now, LeBron goes to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State becomes even. I mean, look how bad they. I mean, how good they were when they had Greg Oden
And, Conley.
Daquan Cook and Conley. That
Yeah,
1 year they
right.
went to the finals and
David
went to the
Light.
championship game. Like, so you get a lot of these different players going to college now that are pros, that are big time players now that were from that 95 to about 2005.
And
So
it
that
helps.
10, 11 year
And it helps.
range.
And it helps.
It helps college basketball.
It helps
what I'm
college
thinking
and it
too.
helps the NBA
Yeah.
because now players are coming in
Well
a
seasoned,
little more
Right.
polished.
Exactly.
They got a chance to be on their own, and I think that's the only thing really that's hurt the NBA over the years. A lot of young guys didn't make it because they didn't go to college and didn't get that experience. They
So
went
what y'all
straight
like?
from
What y'all
being a
like?
grown
High
man.
school to the NBA, or y'all figure the kids should do a year and then go
Like,
to the
it's
NBA?
not-
I
think they should do
actually
2
think-
years.
I actually
Exactly.
think.
I think
I
they
actually
should do
think.
Now that they can make money off their likeness, I think and they can get jobs now.
I
You know
think
what
it
I'm
ought to
saying?
be like
when-
baseball.
Back then, if you had a 4-year
I
scholarship,
don't want to. I hate that minor league, Jimmy. I do.
No,
I
this is
hate
what
it.
I'm gonna say. No, when I say baseball, and especially with them getting paid, I think you should have had an option. You could go when you come out of high school, but if you go to college, you gotta go 3 years.
Yeah,
And I think it's worked out wonders for the NFL.
yeah.
I think when you look at back in the 80s, 90s, when players left school,
We're ready.
they was ready. They
Right.
coming in killing.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever, and when they left early, you like, yeah, they ready.
you rarely got that miss first. That
Yeah.
miss.
Early entry. Right.
The number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, he came in killing.
It was rarely missed back in the 80s.
Now
Rarely
look at
missed, and I don't even think I remember one.
Now they want you to go
I
to the
think-
D
Well,
League.
nervous person. Never nervous person.
All right.
But look at the NBA. Look at all the players who, in that time frame, that 10-year frame, 95 to 05. How many bad players that came out of high
Bro,
school?
Because you
That-
drafted on potential.
Bro,
Exactly.
that almost killed the NBA.
Yeah.
That almost killed.
And you know, it's still killing them now because
Yeah.
you only got players going 1 year, and some of these players are not as good
Right.
as they think.
And they go
are.
to
They're
the
not
D
as-
League and
But
they get forgot
They
about
got to
it.
run for that bag.
Yeah.
But
And-
we gonna wrap that up.
Right,
That was
right.
a good topic. I want to thank everybody for coming on. I want to thank my boy Ant, the Trash Man, my boy Moses, my boy Big Ralph. You know, this is Jimmy, a.k.a. the Know-It-All. We had a good show, but I'm going to leave off with one more what if, and we're going to get out of here. And my last what if is, what if sports was never segregated and blacks and everybody was able to play all sports from the get-go? How would history turn out different? Something for everybody to think on. Once again, it's Jimmy, a.k.a. the Know-It-All. On behalf of the crew, 1030, love, we out of here. Peace. Good show, fellas. Good show. Good show.
Yo,
Hit it
that
real
was,
quick.
that was